Okay, YouTube. I'm back and I've changed screen recorders because I was really struggling with Cam Studio under Windows 10 using this hardware, and I suspect it's just somewhat crappy software. So, excuse me, it's quite late tonight, so I was struggling to try and get some kind of screen capture device set up on this computer, and I finally found something called Screen Recorder Pro that works pretty well. And I'm just going to kind of scoot through again the information on what I found at Value Village, and hopefully this recorder will last long enough to get something a little bit more substantial. So here we go again. So basically went to Value Village, found this computer. It's called an HP Pavilion 550-019 tower. It should look like this, but it doesn't, because it looks like this. And the reason why it looks like this, is because it's dirty. And I guess it's discolored, probably from maybe being in the sun or something. It's a little scratched up too, but otherwise, I mean, I cleaned it up. The color doesn't change, but you know, you could probably retro bright it or something, but I'm not too worried about it. But essentially, this is the computer. It's from 2015. Paid $25 for it. I was pretty happy with that. This is what it would have looked like originally, with, you know, all the peripherals and everything. Monitor. I have these speakers. They're great. Monitor. I have something like that. It works. It works. It's decent. So highlights of this computer is that it's an AMD A10 7800 APU. APU means that it's a CPU and a GPU kind of combined into a single chip. And if you're interested in learning more about it, here you go. You can pause and read that stuff. And here's all the specs. Apparently came out in 2014, although the chip itself says it was made in 2013, so, you know, marketing and delays and all that stuff. The actual computer was sold in 2015, or released in 2015. So, you know, for $25, it's pretty awesome. Here's the shot of the motherboard. Go through a few things. So you'll notice one thing about the motherboard is it is missing a couple of these RAM slots. There's the traces for them, but they're just not there. So I guess this was some kind of cost savings. It ships with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and you can obviously put another 8 in there and make it 16 gigabytes of RAM. I put in a 2 gigabyte stick because that's all I had that matched up with the original RAM. It's DDR3, and that allows it to go into dual channel mode. One thing I want to point out is the kinds of capacitors they're using. Close to the hottest item on the board, which is of course the APU. These are good quality caps. They're not going to be affected by the heat as much, and so I think this is a good design move on their part. And there's 2 different versions of this board. I don't exactly know what the differences are, and I'm not even sure which one I have, but apparently there are 2 different versions of this. Version 1, version 2, or whatever. Excuse me for the yawning. Getting too late. I gotta go to bed. And here's a good shot of the I/O. I like the fact it has HDMI, lots of USB. It has Wi-Fi right there. Wi-Fi. NIC. Has the old built-in gigabit Ethernet There's a little more shot, better shot of the I/O. There's the back of it. This is, of course, where the I/O is. Case fan. Power supply. Power supply is a bit weak. I think it's like a under 200 watt-er, but because it's integrated graphics, I think it's only like 65 watt draw, so it's okay. There's some badges for you, and that's it. So what's my verdict on this thing? Well, I've had it for only for maybe 4 or 5 days, and for 25 bucks, you can't go wrong, especially when everything in it is there. It came with a 1 terabyte hard drive, like I said, 8 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, CPU, all the components working, all the components still in the system. It had Windows 10 fresh install. Well, it was like refreshed. So anyway, that's going to be my video. This one's going up since it actually seems to have worked. So another thing I'll just give a shout out to, Screen Reader Pro seems to work really well. Cam Studio, is that what it was called? Yeah, I think it's called that. Yep, Cam Studio, not so much. I can record like a minute of video before it becomes messed up. So this one's going 6 minutes. Hopefully this will be my new recorder, at least for Windows 10. So there you go, and I'll talk to you later.